NiOh2 follows the adventures of a lone wolf living in a small hut that soon grows into one of the infamous Lord Oda Nobunaga's most loyal retainers. The protagonist is silent, but the story of the protagonist is deeply rooted in the events that unfold in the game. Normally, in a Soulsborne-esque game, the protagonist will just be a character simply trying to complete an overarching goal, but NiOh2, the character you create, has interests and feelings of its own. Though this is a work of fiction, many of the events that take place are rooted in historical references to this time period. Lord Nobunaga is on a quest to unify and rule Japan as he was in real history. The game makes interesting fantasy twists on events to make them more fantastical, which I personally do not mind in the least. All in all, at the very least, I would say that NiOh2's story is captivating. It kept me interested until the very end, and the DLC ties everything down very nicely. It's definitely something that I would recommend to somebody who's interested in story in a game. In NiOh, you have the ability to refashion all of your equipment to better suit your taste, so long as you've picked up the equipment before or forged it. In my opinion, I believe this feature should be a standard in any RPG. It only makes sense. As you can tell, I have a ball doing this. Refashioning your equipment is only half the reason playing NiOh2 is so visually appealing. The game has a very beautiful and interesting set of stages and set pieces to behold. Here are some of my favorites. The PS5 version is even better than the PS4 version, obviously. The native resolution is 4K and it performs at 60 frames per second almost constantly. Depending on your settings, you can even bump it up to 120 frames per second, which is very refreshing to see in this genre, especially on console. Another reason why I fell in love with NiOh2 is the equipment set system that is in place. Normally in games within this genre, if you want to change your armor or weapon sets frequently, you would need to open a menu and change them out one by one. In NiOh, you can save equipment sets and access them at checkpoints, the world map, and even within the hut. Saving equipment sets allow you to save specific armor, weapons, movesets, soul cores, and guardian spirits. As you can see, I have plenty and have a name for most of them to help me remember. What separates NiOh2 from other games in this genre in terms of gameplay is its stance system and skill tree each weapon has. When you learn enough skills, you can augment the active skills so they can have extra effects on them, such as poisoning or shocking an enemy. This makes for a very interesting gameplay element, and it keeps you on your toes and makes sure you're never bored. Each time you face a yokai enemy, it will have a chance to drop a soul core. These soul cores give you an ability of the yokai that dropped it. You can keep getting the same soul cores and fuse them to make them stronger and to enhance their special effects. You may assign them to your guardian spirit, And when you assign them to your guardian spirit, your soul cores may be augmented by that spirit, and that will augment your playstyle. The key pulse system allows you to regain stamina, or what this game calls ki, which makes for an interesting stamina management system. NiOh has plenty of diverse enemies and bosses to keep you on your toes and always surprise. Through each difficulty, some may even gain new movesets, so watch out. Some bosses on NiOh2 drop new techniques for you to use. If they're using the same type of weaponry as you, I would try fighting them a couple of times to see if they drop something that you might find useful. It might blow your mind. All in all, I gotta say, if you can't tell by now, I'm completely enamored with this game. There's so many smart moves done by Team Ninja to innovate this genre of games. Giving it a number doesn't do the game justice. I just had to tell you that I highly recommend this experience. It's about $40 right now for NiOh2 on the PS4 and PS5 and Steam as well. This is on Steam. It's been on Steam for the past month or so, and I highly recommend it. This is probably one of the best games I've ever played in my life.
よし、どうせ行くとこないんだろ。来いよ。しかしすっげえな、あんなごついの。で、喋れないのはなんかわけが。あ、すまん。ま、いろいろあるわな。